Hello everyone, welcome to Chirag's SQL Server DBA tutorial. In this video, we are going to learn how to install and configure SQL Server 2025. This is the latest version of the SQL Server and SQL Server Management Studio 21 version on Windows Server 2025. So here is the step-by-step guide to the install and configure the SQL Server and SQL Server Management Studio on Windows Server 2025. So we have a prerequisites are there. So we should install the Windows Server 2025 fully updated and administrator privileges, internet connection, 8 GB of RAM minimum and 20 GB of free hard disk space, and .NET framework we need 4.8 plus pre-install. So now we are going to download the SQL Server 2025 public preview version. So this is the path where we can download the SQL Server 2025 preview version. So let me open with my one of the remote server. So in this server we will just try to do it. So this is running with the SQL Windows Server 2025. Here you can able to check. So Windows Server 2025 Data Center Edition, Evolution Edition, I am just using for that, for the testing purpose. Okay. So just go to the your browser and just paste the link. So SQL Server 20 get SQL Server 2025. This is the public preview version. So here just insert your detail and you will get a download, and there is a small file, and under that when you will run this file it will allow you to download the media. Okay, so download media. After downloading that, we'll get this file. Okay, so just right click this one and mount. So this is SQL Server 2025. Here is the setup. So right click on the setup, run as a administrator. So please wait for the SQL Server 2025 setup process the current operation. So SQL Server 2025 means 2025 is the latest version of SQL Server. Okay, so click on the installation and a new SQL instance along standalone installation. We are going through that. So I'm going for the evolution version. There is a enterprise developer, standard developer, and express version is there. So as per your requirement, you can go. So I'm just checking with the evolution. So click on next. Accept all the terms and conditions. Click on next. So if you want to use the update of the check the updates, so click on next. Now what are the features you want to install? Just like SQL Server replication, scale out master, worker, and analysis. So what are the features you want to install? You can select, or you can select all for testing now. If you want to change the root directory, just like for the share folder directory and other directory, then you can change it here. Okay, you change it, just click on next. And other services just like reporting services and other services you have to download from the web, and you have to install that, you have to add the package. So instance name, default instance name with the MS SQL Server. If you want to change, then you can click on the name instance, you can change the instance name. So click on next. So this is a port range of the polybase. So click on next, leave it default. Here the services. If you want a account name, just like if you are running with the AD Active Directory, then you can change your account name as per given by your system admin. And there is a startup type, which one all will be the automatic. Here in the SQL Server agent, I am just creating this one automatic. Okay. And collation, as per your requirement, you can change the collation. Okay, this is the default one. I'm leaving it same. So click on next. Here SQL. So authentication mode will be the default. If you want to going through the mix mode, then you will get the SQL Server authentication also and Windows authentication also. So SQL Server System Administrator SA account will get account will be activated. Later on also you can activate the SQL Server authentication. So enter here. So I'm going through the mix mode. So admin at the rate 123 and we specify the server administrator. So current user, I'm going to add this one, current user. Click on next. And one more thing was that if you are to change the data directories, so where the data will be there and user and backup directories. So as per your requirement, if you drive, then you can change as per your requirement. Just like log directory and temp db, we are keeping in the different location. So as per your uh, company rules, and you can change this thing. Okay. So now I'm going to move to the next. So here also we need the current for the analysis, current administrator, data directories for the analysis services. If you want to change, then you can change. Click on next. So create a new SSL certificate. Click on next. Next. And these are the features we have selected. So this is the summary. Okay. So this summary we can click on install. In this page, installation in progress. So it will take some time to install, so we are waiting for that. So installation in progress. So now this is installing the running the packages. SQL is log. So SQL is master. So let me go through the next thing. So after installing that, we'll install the SQL Server Management Studio. So let me go through that. So I'm opening, just open in browser and search SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio 21 is released now. So let me go through the link. Okay, welcome to SQL Server Management Studio 21. This is the version. Easy to choose or install only the features you need only using the Visual Studio installer. So you can download the installer, Visual Studio installer. Already we have downloaded. So here you can check in downloads. This is the Visual Studio as for the SSMS, means SSMS installer for the Visual Studio. So after completing this, we'll run the Visual Studio installer. So installation in progress. Then SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio is the GUI tool, graphical user interface tool for SQL Server database. So we can easily access the SQL Server database using the SQL Server Management Studio. We are about completed. Okay, so installation is succeeded. So here you can check the features. Whatever the features we have selected, all are installed on us. All should be success and in details installation successful. So now you can close this one and close the SQL Server Installation Center also. Now I am going to just install the SSMS SQL Server Management Studio via Visual Studio. So just click on this one, click on right click and Visual Studio Installer, continue. This is the Visual Studio installer. From here, we will install the SQL Server Management Studio GUI tool for accessing the SQL Server 2025. Okay. So installing the SQL Server Management Studio 21. So 21.0.1, and this is the location for that, and total size will be the required is 3.56 GB, and this is the install option is there. So if you want to add the AI assistant, then you can add this one, business intelligence and hybrid migration, access the database, upgrade data, move your data to with else. Later on, we'll go through the step by step, one by one, this tools. Now I'm going to install only SQL Server Management Studio 21.0.1. So click on install. So it will install the SQL Server Management Studio 21, and it's starting the installation process also, or downloading parallel. So total number of packages will install 188, and total size will be approx 800 MB. More than 500 MB is downloaded, and approx 68% is downloaded, and installation is going on 28%. So download is completed. Now installation is in progress. So installation is 86% approx. SQL Server Management Studio 221 is downloading from the Visual Studio installer. So installation is completed successfully. We recommend to restart the Windows to clean up the any remaining files. So okay. So if you want, then you can restart this, or you can launch the SQL Server Management Studio. So I'm closing this one. Close this. This one also completed. So I'm going to eject this one SQL Server. Now what I'll do, I'll just restart my system. So go there and there is an option restart. So continue, restart anyway. So this is the remote system. So let me ping the IP address 192.168.224.133. So this is giving the RTO, request timeout. So put it -T. So yeah, it started. Ping is coming. So now let me try to log in. So we have done this one. We have downloaded the SQL Server and then we have installed this, and installation process is given there. So SQL Server replication database engine we have selected, and connectivity and instance configuration. So server configuration, automatic database engine configuration. We have selected the mix mode that will connect with the SQL Server authentication mode and Windows Server authentication mode. And installation is going on. Now we have installed the SQL Server Management Studio. This is GUI tool for the accessing the SQL Server. So installer, run the installer. We have done this. Now this is changed to running through the Visual Studio. Now configure the SQL Server SQL Server for the accessing with the remote access. So we have to open the SQL Server Configuration Manager. So minimize this one. Go there. Go to All Apps. Open SQL Server Configuration Manager. Go to the SQL Server Network Configuration Protocol for SQL Server, MS SQL Server, and TCP IP is already enabled. It's not enabled, then you have to enable this one for the remote access. Okay. So protocol for MS server TCP IP is already enabled. Then restart the service if you are not enabled, and configure the firewall. Allow the port number 1433 for the default SQL Server port. So you can run this one in console and you can allow the rule. Okay. So now I'm showing. Open the PowerShell. Run as administrator. New firewall rule. So SQL Server 1433 we are allowing direction is inbound rule. TCP port number is 1433 and action is allowed. So just enter. Okay. So enable is true. So rule is added. So if you want to check this one is added or not, go to the open the control for the Windows Firewall, advanced settings, inbound rule, and you can able to check there. Okay. So this is rule is added by this command, and our firewall is not on. We can turn on the firewall. So this is also done. Next, let me go connect to the SQL Server using the SSMS. So I'm going to open the SQL Server Management Studio. Okay. So all apps. Here you can able to find SQL Server Tools 21. So inside that SQL Server Management Studio 21 will be there. So just click this. So SQL Server Management Studio 21 is opening. So here you can sign into SQL Server Management Studio using the Microsoft account, GitHub account and create an account. So now I am going to skip and add account later. So click on skip. So that is your option. So this is the first time this is coming because I am opening the first time. So we are excited to introduce a new connection dialog experience. So previously we are getting the this box is different. Okay. Now we have a different UI. So if you want to yes, then it will give you the. Would you like to try it out? So yes, it will give you the new window, just like login window. So just click on this. So this is a connect preview. previous was the different. So server name, you can give the system name, local host or dot, you can give anything. So now I'm going to put local host. There is a authentication mode, Windows authentication, server authentication, MFA, and intra default. So many options are there. So I'm just running with the SQL Server authentication mode. So my username will be the SA. Password we have entered in the while installing, that is admin@123. You can click on the remember password if you want. Otherwise leave it. And encryption, there's a optional, or you can just click on the trust your SQL Server certificate. Just click on connect. So SQL Server database is connected now. You can go to the database. There is a data warehouse databases are by default, and other parts as usual. Just we have a previous version, database, security, server objects, replication, management, always on high availability. So all the things are same, and SQL Server agent is also same. So now let me test with the creating one database and database is accessible or not. So here is the code. So create database test db, and I'm just entering creating one table. So create the database, use the database. So everything is successfully. Now create a table. So done. You can able to check here, refresh, the test db will be there. So I'm closing this one. Expand test db. There is a tables, expand table. So we have a users table. So right click on that, select rows. So we don't have any data. Now I'm going to insert the data. So insert into users. Directly I'm trying to insert. Okay. ID will be increment. So name Chirag and email. Syntax. So column number supplied the values is not matched. Okay, no problem. Let me inserted successfully. Now let me run this command. So see, ID is 0, name is Chirag, and email is Chirags in chirags@gmail.com. So data is inserted successfully. So now completed. In this video, we have learned install and configure of the SQL Server 2025 and SQL Server Management Studio on Windows Server 2025. And SQL Server Management Studio, we are just running with the 21 version, latest version. So step-by-step process is given there. Okay. For any doubts and query, please write on the YouTube video comment section. Follow the process on in the video. Subscribe and like for the more videos. Don't forget to follow, like, share and comments. Hope this will help. Thank you for watching.